Time has run away from me, and everything I plan to do is late by 2 weeks, including my Chinese New Year special. But this being the last day of Chinese New Year, the 24th, as we welcome the Lantern Festival, I thought I'd try to sneak this into the window. This year, I resolved to stop neglecting my dragons and be more consistent with them. And what better year to do than this, because 2024 is the year of the dragon, a very auspicious year for us. It's no excuse to slack off on dinosaurs either. You may know the equivalent suffix to saurus in Chinese is the word for dragon, or long, and hence we have Beishan Long, Dilong, and so on. So, both dragons and dinosaurs for this year.
We shall double our efforts.
From watching my Wonder Artistic models reviews, you know I like building things up. Woodkits, 3D puzzles, jigsaw puzzles, and so on. But strangely, I've never touched a Lego before. The closest is this gift I received a few years ago, a Doraemon time machine, but never a Lego. Until now. This is the Lego Auspicious Dragon. It's not just my first, but it's 1,117 pieces. Mercifully, the pieces come in 10 separate bags. Within each are smaller bags containing the smallest pieces. An easy-to-follow instruction book of around 390 steps. It was not as painful as I expected it to be. Well, first of all, this is definitely a showpiece. It's a good size, larger than I thought it would be. It measures 37 centimeters or 14.7 inches horizontally, and it's 26 centimeters or 10.2 inches tall to the top of this horn. In terms of width, figure on having about 14 centimeters or 5.5 inches of space. For an idea of its size, here's the PNSO Wilson and Cameron. The thing that strikes me when I look at the finished piece is how pleasing the whole thing looks. It's a wonderful experience to see how everything comes together to create the form and features of the Chinese dragon. The overall serpentine form is there, posed in a beautiful dynamic sinusoidal wave. It stands on a base of clouds and waves, creating an illusion of speed and forward movement. In the head, you see some of those characteristic features. The eyes have printed eyeballs on them, giving them that Eye of the Demon look. And thankfully, doesn't require a clumsy oaf like me to apply stickers to. The horns are not tantalus, but the spread of them is so pleasing it's easy to overlook. There are nice touches, such as these hornlets around the eye as well. The jaw articulates and depresses quite wide, and inside you see the tongue. It's really nice, especially for a first-timer like myself, to see how parts that seem abstract come together to form various details and shapes. The characteristic whiskers are here. Now moving down, we see the very serpentine body. The side panels have scales printed on them, and it's satisfying to see how they fit together in an overlapping way in most areas. Also pleasing is how the typical back fin of the Chinese dragon is created. In addition, there are rather seemingly more keratinous spikes running the length of the dorsal midline, all the way down the tail. It's a joy to build up the layers that create each segment with multiple layers of color, and then realize at the end how they fit into the full picture. The dragon has 3 claws, which was common in the Tang dynasty. It's clever how these hands are built up on the base itself, after which these claws can be closed up around it. Likewise in the right hand, but this time to secure this pearl. The hind limbs are pretty much the same story. Incidentally, the pearl is a common motif and symbolizes spiritual energy, wisdom, immortality, prosperity, and power. It's even given a special paint application, creating a very pearlescent look. Yet another very nice touch. Then going down the tail, and at the tip, you get a streamer-like effect, which together with the base, gives the dragon a sense of movement. And you can imagine it powering through water and waves. The base itself takes up almost half the total build time and conveys a nice backdrop of its typical watery environment. And in these clouds, there's a nod to its ability to fly through the air as well. And the way linear movement is suggested, juxtaposed with the serpentine curvature of the body, makes for a very nice visual contrast, adding to the overall sense of forward purpose. The sign here says Xianglong Nafu, loosely translates to something like auspicious dragon bringing or welcoming in prosperity. The nice thing is, you can place it in different parts depending on which way the dragon faces. Now I should mention that contrary to Ronnie Cheng, not all of us are into money. Now I just want to comment on the articulation. Now obviously, this isn't meant to be a posable toy, so there's no point critiquing its ability in that sense. But it's nice how some functionality here gives you some options. Now starting here, you can see the ball joint gives the head more degrees of freedom than I'd expected. It's a very good range of motion down, limited up because of the abutment of these horns, and also side to side a little. And of course, any permutation with these 4 directions can happen. But this is one case where I think that just looking straight ahead flows best with the idea of forward movement and progress. The mouth articulates, and as we saw, the jaw does depress quite wide. Then these individual whiskers. The horns and the hornlets, which still creates slight differences in appearance. For example, having them spread out. Versus narrowed together. In the shoulders, the ball and socket functionality is limited on the left because of this attachment to the base, but in the right, there is good shoulder movement. At the end of the tail, you can flex and extend here, and then side to side here. And each of these tail elements can move for you to fine-tune the look you want. Now these cloud elements you could rotate, but really in general, I think the sense of fast forward movement is better conveyed and looks the best with these showing straight side profiles. And as for the build itself, I can say it's very clever and I'm delighted. I experienced how geometric blocks can come together to create various organic shapes. Many times when I put some blocks together, it doesn't seem to make sense. Once completed, I see how various areas are formed. Like any good model, it looks good from a variety of angles, plus some minor articulation, and you can make little tweaks so you end up with a beautiful display piece the way you like it. So that's it for the LEGO Auspicious Dragon. Chinese New Year is always special. Chinese dragons are always special, but to actually be in the year of the dragon, with the year having such a beautiful number, 20 and 24, makes this year extra special for me. Hopefully, we'll see some really nice longs, more dragons and dinosaurs this year. I'll see you in the next video.